Ladies and gentlemen, I was going to do a recorded video for you, but for the sake of timeliness on this breaking news today on June 30th, end of month 2021, please take a moment to like and share this video. Mayor Bill de Blasio in New York City, I just tweeted this, in prayers for New York, just made a statement asking residents of New York City to take immediate, quote, action. Reduce your use of electricity in your home or your business for the rest of the day, end quote. I'll reread this. Please share this, like this, get it out to your friends and family, especially in New York City. Quote, this is from Mayor Bill de Blasio in New York City. This statement is just issued. Quote, links in the description. It's on my Twitter feed at AMTV Media. Make sure to subscribe. We need New Yorkers to take immediate, in all caps, action, immediate action. Reduce your use of electricity in your home or your business for the rest of the day, end quote. Quote, we need to avoid energy disruptions during this heat emergency, quote, calling it a heat emergency, calling for immediate action and the reduction of the use of every citizen in New York City's electricity in their home or their place of business. Also, this breaking, Con Edison out of New York City, the power company, asking all customers in New York City to conserve energy right away. They are encouraging a limit to the use of your appliances, regulation of your AC, and ask for you to report any outages to Con Ed. And you can find this tweet on my Twitter page. Now, of course, what's terrible about this, and please pray for this country, is this rolling heat wave that has disproportionately been affecting not just the Pacific Northwest. I mean, we're reading there's been loss of life in places like Vancouver, Canada, Seattle, breaking through 110 degrees, I believe it was yesterday. Places like Phoenix, Arizona, boiling hot. And we're seeing this also in New York City today. Now, this comes in coordination with something I've reported on for a very long time, and that is the Cyber Polygon event that will be taking place in just a few days, July 9th. And you can look up that information. They're basically running simulations to protect the people from future types of cyber events and or blackouts and or energy disruptions. Now, of course, this year has been a horrific year. Texas went completely dark in the winter. All electricity had failed in many parts of Texas, causing lots of problems. And also, we've seen this leading into the summer. So it's affecting states all over the country, not just the Pacific Northwest. Of course, we've seen Texas, which with major power and electrical outages, shortages, and problems. There was a report that I just reported on, what was it, a couple days ago, where the electricity companies in places like Texas are actually adjusting remotely the temperature gauges inside your home to regulate the power supply to the customer base that it is serving. Also, increasing geopolitical issues. Vladimir Putin, of course, was running a naval operation just off the coast here of Hawaii, 35 nautical miles outside of the zone of the Hawaiian Islands just a couple of days ago. He also has some very bold and taunting words today, saying that the United States is losing its world dominance over the world and strengthening his ties with China, virtually forming a alliance with the emerging strongest nation in the world, China, with its economic growth, really becoming a powerhouse nation, more millionaires minted in China than any other place in the world. There was also a report that I put out on Twitter earlier this morning where, and this was from the Washington Post, owned by Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos's Washington Post and MSN and Microsoft News are reporting that China is building more than 100 new missile silos in its western desert. That is an official source. Link in the description. China has begun construction of what independent experts say are more than 100 new silos for intercontinental ballistic missiles in a desert near the northwestern city of Yumen, a building spree that could signal a major expansion of Beijing's nuclear capabilities. And I also tweeted this. This is a direct quote from Jeff Bezos' owned Washington Post. I think he's also in the process of acquiring, what was it, MGM Studios? So this is from Jeff Bezos' owned paper, the Washington Post. Quote, "We believe China is expanding its nuclear forces in part to maintain a deterrent that can survive a U.S. first strike in sufficient numbers to defeat U.S. missile defenses." This is from Jeff Bezos' owned Washington Post. Of course, not only does he own Amazon, he owns Whole Foods, and he just bought MGM Studios. Who knows what other acquisitions they might have planned in the near future. So that is from Jeff Bezos. Quote, "We believe China is expanding its nuclear forces." The Washington Post is his owned paper, in part to maintain a deterrent that can survive a U.S. first strike in sufficient numbers to defeat U.S. missile defenses. We've seen China posturing, not just in Taiwan, but in Hong Kong in recent years. Americans begin and have started to travel. We've also seen great economic problems with wages declining grossly, inflation increasing magnificently, and still no word from the central bank here in the United States whether or not they will ever raise interest rates from zero. In fact, it appears rates will stay at zero forever in the United States of America. They've never been raised more than maybe 50 basis points since 2008 and 09. Many are calling this a perfect storm of a stagflation event in the United States that could unravel and could possibly result in a massive financial economic collapse, stocks trading at new all-time highs with valuations that we have not seen since the 2001 bubble, 1929, before the outbreak of major geopolitical conflict, or prior to 2008 and 09. In fact, housing in the rapid appreciation of housing hasn't been this strong since about 2005, before the last collapse of every single bank in the United States and worldwide. So very precarious, a precipitous slope. Links will be in the description to all these major official sources. It's very important we list these official sources that the American people can read. These official sources from Jeff Bezos' owned paper, and also from Mayor de Blasio, who just put out an emergency warning, along with Con Edison, another major official source, to all populations in New York City. Stay prepared, be vigilant. This is why you want food and water. I encourage you to get it. You should have 30, 60-day, 2-year supply, really, backup power systems, and you should be ready for anything. Because if there's one thing we've learned in the United States, is expect the unpredictable. I'm Christopher Green, hard-hitting and in your face. Again, remain very, very bullish. I'm expecting massive breakouts across the board for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. One of our picks is up over 60% just in the last 48 hours. I'm expecting more and more smart money to flee the US dollar into tangibles, commodities, and digital equivalents like Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies to escape what really has started to become a fiat collapse. I'm Christopher Green. Please share this video worldwide. Links in the description.